Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the inaugural episode of the Star Wars Clone Wars Perspective. I'm the Jedi Master, Travis Snell.
I am CT26. Taylor Field.
Now, is the show, I guess it is officially called Star Wars, The Clone Wars. Sorry, I just said Clone Wars, my bad. So
Star Wars The Clone Wars.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, if you follow this podcast, like Geek First Podcast for a while, you know we're big Star Wars fans. We have a separate show called Cantina Conversations where we talk about just everything Star Wars. So this is a spin-off of a spin-off. If you've not joined us for any of our retros before, it's we're taking a look back. So with movie series, we've always done, hey, we start from the finish, we go to the end. So we've done Saw, we've done the MCU, we've done, what else have we done? Is that it? I did
Saw, MCU,
Batman a long time ago. I thought there was one more retro we've done. Is that it?
There is another retro. What did we do?
We've done Blade.
We've done Blade.
Dylan's favorite.
There has to be another one. I feel like there is.
We're doing Spider-Man. If you enjoy Spider-Man, me, Dylan, and Kyle are doing the animated series. That'll be coming back very soon. If you want to catch up on that, you can go to Patreon, but those episodes will be releasing soon to the public. But this is for Star Wars The Clone Wars. So this is a show that, obviously, it's coming back next year. So in honor of that, we thought, why not give it a watch? So what I'm going to do is, because obviously some people might be listening to this that never listen to Cantina Conversations, I want you again, so you can make it smaller than what we did on Cantina, but give a little overall of just your Star Wars fandom, because I think it's good to set the stage for how Taylor is as a fan and how I am. So if this is a retread for some of you, sorry, but I know some people might be catching on because it's the first episode. So we want, the new fans to see where we stand on our Star Wars love, because, we're huge Star Wars fans, but both of us are the different side of a coin, I'd say, as far as our Star Wars fandom. So you can start off with, how we introduced and what do you love, which is, I think, everything, but,
Yeah, for me, gosh, Star Wars goes back a long time ago in a galaxy not so far away. I missed a lot of, the old trilogy, I wasn't born yet, obviously, when those were in theaters or anything, but
who would have thunk?
I remember for me, I saw them on VHS, it'd be on TV every now and then, and growing up, I got the Lego sets, fantastic, and just wanted to be Star Wars characters for Halloween and all that, and then finally, the prequels.
His parents said, "No, goddammit!"
They said no, and yeah, there's discipline. No, but I
like that you had to reassure the viewers. No,
there wasn't.
Like any of them believed me.
But yeah, no, just eventually when Star Wars Revenge of the Sith came into the theaters, I got to see that in theaters, and that was my first and last experience with Star Wars on the big screen. And
your first and last experience? No.
First and last at the time. It was a time when it didn't feel like there was going to be more Star Wars coming. But all of a sudden, Star Wars Phantom Menace 3D came in the theaters, and I saw that in 3D in the theaters. It was wild. It definitely... my experience and just everything I love about Star Wars goes through so much of the lore, the canon, the legends, dressing up and cosplaying as Star Wars characters, to literally the Lego sets, which I have tons of, action figures, all that sort of stuff.
Want to pass me one? I'm joking. I thought because you wouldn't want to break it. It's fine. Leave it.
Oh, that was your hand.
Yeah.
Oh!
Live TV, folks. That's not Star Wars Lego.
No, that's Darth Vader.
I know, but I said pass me a Lego.
A Lego? I can't reach any.
I'm saying don't because I broke it. I don't know.
But yeah, there's Darth Vader right there. He's almost the same size as your Batman, actually. Probably is the same size.
Yeah. Except he's not as bulky.
No.
Batman's a bit bigger.
But,
Batman, I think could still kick his ass without the Force, for sure.
You think so?
Without the Force, do you think Anakin's that trained hand combat, though? So, both of no powers are just, just two guys naked in a strip. But no, they're, classic, Ra's al Ghul, Demon Sterling, they just have pants on, they're gonna fight. I think he could be Anakin of no Force.
I don't think so, because I think Anakin, he's trained since he was, 10 years old.
With a sword, primarily. I'm saying just fists.
Just fists?
Yeah.
I think so. Jedi are masters of hand-to-hand combat.
They're not masters.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just throw that on. That's like every fucking X-Men having like super strength. No,
I think because they're trained.
Especially this Vader. He couldn't even breathe.
This Vader, he probably could.
No,
but I mean,
young Anakin.
You can't say Vader naked because Vader needs his suit, so he can't be naked.
Even Anakin's too much of a bitch. Batman just had to throw some sand and it's over for him. Oh,
I hate sand.
That's how I still believe he could beat Vader even with Force and a lightsaber.
With Force and the lightsaber?
No, the sand. Batman would look into his history, do some homework. Vader would be all ready to go, and the Batman would just drop like a plane full of sand, and it's over for him. The bat plane.
Travel on the beach.
Mm.
Where was I going with this?
You're talking about that you have Lego, like you.
I'm a huge fan of the canon and everything, and when Disney. For so long I would always like Google, Star Wars 7, anything, anything at all. Maybe there were glimpses of maybe a Boba Fett movie or something, but nothing ever happened. And finally, when Disney bought Star Wars, that was like an amazing thing. We were getting all this news of spin-offs and a new trilogy. It was fantastic. We got all the original characters coming back to the trilogy, all these spin-offs, which Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. It's fantastic, and I love the new trilogy. I love where they're going with it. It's just there's so many different things. Like I have like the Thrawn books. There's so many new stories coming out that I love. I love Star Wars Rebels, what they're doing with that. It's good. Clone Wars is still my all-time favorite. That's why for them to be bringing back the Clone Wars in this final season is huge for me. I'm super excited for that. So just Star Wars is a deep place in my heart. I love the stories. I love the ideas behind it, and I love the messages that are brought to life in this culture. I hope that the fans turn over a new leaf, because now more than ever the Star Wars community has been very diverse and not very good.
I think they're quieting down, they're happy with Clone Wars announcements, stuff like that. So, yeah, I would say I'm probably a bit below Taylor, but I'd say my love for Star Wars is just as much as Taylor's. Mine's just the opposites of, I've always had the spectrum for the most part of films first. For me, it's about the films. I think the lore and the canon is all great stuff, and I think that adds to the legends of it. But to me, I think it started with the movies, and the most important stuff happens with the movies. I think there's many great things out there. There's great comic books, there's great books, there's great video games. I'm the guy that, praises Knights of the Republic probably the most out of anybody in the world. Every E3 I'm disappointed because there's not an announcement of Knights of the Republic 3 or a remaster or anything like that. I think that is, next to Empire, probably the best Star Wars story. That with Revan and Bastila, I'm a big fan of that. So I love the inner workings of the world, and I love the world around. So, and the films I love for the most part. I'm not even going to talk about the newer ones, because the newer ones I love Force Awakens, I like Last Jedi, but with the old ones, love Trilogy. I'm the same as Taylor. I saw it on VHS. My dad had the copies of the old posters that they had. I hate the poster of the original New Hope when it's Luke going like that. The reason I hate it because it's a cool image, but I feel it's very off-putting how buff they make Luke.
Oh, they're so jacked.
Yeah, and it's little Mark Hamill, so it's as a kid it's okay, but now it looks so cheesy at times. And then I remember I fell even more in love with my grandma at a fair or something. There's a classic, I think we've talked about this before, a 3 set of all the movies, and it's black cases, and one, I think one is a stormtrooper on the cover, one's Yoda. Wow, he could have walked behind the camera, but he literally walked in front of the camera to block it. And then it's, yes, this is the one, yeah. So for it was Yoda, Vader, and Stormtrooper. So yeah, for the audio listeners. But yeah, I got that box set, and then what is that one?
This is special edition widescreen version.
Oh, but the special edition with this added stuff?
Yeah, I thought
that
I thought this would have your buff Luke Skywalker on it.
But and then I also own the that they made one. I think it's one. Either they made one DVD or the last DVD of the original. You could buy the original, and it came with the special edition as well. I own that, so thank goodness I own the special movies on the original movies on DVD. That's just a side point. But I love Star Wars, but I'm not a big canon guy because as far as for me, legend stuff, I'm not a big book reader. I've said that in many casts. I just never got that too much into. Read some comic books here and there, but to me the movies were the movies. And then now, there's obviously tons of books, tons of canon, things like that, and I feel like it may be, Han Solo excluding some little stuff. I feel like canon really doesn't matter, you know? It's kind of like Marvel and Netflix, where it's like, yeah, they're in this universe, but, you know, and we're going to talk about this many times with this. One of my biggest hang-ups why I don't like
Ahsoka Tano.
Ahsoka Tano is, what do they call her? What the fuck is her little nickname?
Snips.
Snips. I'm just going to call her Snips, because I can't even say regular English, so Star Wars English, but stuff like, she's never addressed any of these films, you know, and I don't like certain things they do with Anakin and whatnot. And I guess where I was going is, so Taylor pretty much abashedly loves everything Star Wars. And I've said this before, as a fan, you don't need to love everything to be a big fan, and that's where Star Wars is. For me, it goes comics, wrestling, and Star Wars. It's up there as those three, like, geek loves. I love it all, and I'm always going to support them, I'm always going to see it. Prequels, I hate. And not in the sense of, I don't think they are the worst movies in the world. You go back to our commentary tracks, I all gave them passing grades. To me, they just hurt a lot of the original trilogy. This big guy right here, Vader, to me was one of the scariest guys until the prequels came out. I saw them as a kid, like everyone else loved them. And then as I got older, you start to notice things, and you start to be like, and then when I got more into film, and that didn't match there, and that didn't match there, and, you know, Anakin and Padme is kind of creepy, and this and that, and the dialogue's kind of bad. And that, for me, was... And this is where it's going in the Clone Wars. For me, was I did not like the prequels. To me, they did more bad than good. So I was never that into the Clone Wars show because I didn't want to go into that area. Even now, I'm fine with them doing the revival, but even then, I've always said with animated stuff or other shows, I want stuff away from the prequels areas, you know? Because there are great things in the prequels. There's great stories, there's great characters. I think just the execution and writing of them are poor. Just the idea of Vader, you know, throwing it all away for this woman he loves could have been a great idea. I think it does work as far as, okay, he's willing to sacrifice anything to, you know, get his love to be, you know, alive as he's worried he's going to die. Like, he's going to sacrifice anything he can for it. But for me, that switch I've talked about many times happens so quick, and it's very rushed, and they, to me, never... And that's all, even some of my problems with some of these episodes, with Anakin never seems like a set character. He's all over the map, and not in a good way. It's like a confused character. It's just, I don't believe this guy who was at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith was going to just lose it and kill all these kids, but that's what they do. So I've just, like many others, many hang up with the Clone Wars, so this is going to be an interesting watch for you guys, so I would recommend to watch along, but Taylor has, I don't know, have you watched the whole series multiple times or just one time?
I've lost track how many times I've actually rewatched this whole series.
And I have tried twice before this. I've probably gone about episode, I don't know, 5 or 6 here and there. I've tried twice because I love Star Wars and I want to get more into Star Wars and I want to learn more about characters, everything like that. But sometimes when, like, things like this, if it's not enjoying it, it's not really for me, and that's where I go, well, I love those films. That's what, to me, I also get annoyed by things, and that's where this could come into play as some negatives as well, of things like, oh, well, they explain that in the books, oh, they explain that in the show, there's this thing, it's like, I don't care, the movies are the most important, and it doesn't happen in the movies, there's no backstory, like many people say about, like, Galen and Orson Krennic, like, oh, the relationship's so much more fleshed out in the books. I don't care. That doesn't help me. You know, like, that's why I like the MCU, because they don't say, oh, you had to read, you know, Infinity Gauntlet to really get Infinity War. And that was one of my problems with Solo when they introduced, you know, that certain character. I go, well, it's kind of introducing canon, but it's in this way where it's like, it's only for, you know, if you've done this, this, and this. So I'm excited to watch it, but I will also have a much more harsher critique on the show because I'm not a prequel liker. There's very few things about those movies that are good to great. So, do you have anything you want to add before we officially get into this? So now you know where we stand on our fandoms.
I'm just, you know, I'm so surprised that we're here. We're doing this for Clone Wars. I'm very excited that you're going to be going through a lot of these episodes because, like, there's some rocky rides. They're absolutely there, but then you know, when you get past those, there are some fantastic arcs that we're going to get to talking about, but I'm ready.
Yeah, let's see if I can get through the rocky rides first. So, we're going to do this very much. If you've not seen the Spider-Man retrospective, what we're going to do is we're going to go episode by episode. We've done, I guess we should have said this at the beginning. We're going to do the first 4 episodes, review that, and then every episode from here on will be 4 episodes unless there's an arc that's in the middle that kind of messes it up. So sometimes if we have to change it, that one episode might be 3 episodes or one might be 5. We'll let you know, but the idea is to try and do 4 per episode. And then, yeah, either watch along. If you've seen it a bunch, then you don't need to. We're going to discuss it. But yeah, we'll go episode by episode. So let's start with episode 1, season 1, Ambush. Jedi Master Yoda must face off against Count Dooku's dreaded assassin, Ventress, and her massive droid army to prove the Jedi are strong enough to protect a strategic planet and forge a treaty with the Republic. Ventress fails against Yoda, so Dooku tells Ventress to kill the king of the planet. They don't even give him a name in this Wikipedia thing.
The aliens? The Tidarians?
What? No, I know, and I mean this Wikipedia thing. You'll see in the Spider-Man Retro, it's one of my favorite things. Sometimes some of these plot descriptions give away the entire plot, and then sometimes it's just like, Spider-Man has an adventure in New York with Mary Jane, and you're like, what? Like, good thing I watched the episode. Ventress tries to kill the king of the planet, who wants to sign the treaty with the Republic. Yoda protects the king from Ventress, who then flees. So that's pretty much the episode. So, yeah, what did you think about this episode? Obviously, you've seen these episodes many times, but, you know, you can just give your overall.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just going to quickly put out there, like, the first iteration of, like, getting us to experience the Clone Wars was the Clone Wars movie, which actually I saw in theaters.
We should have watched it before. I just know that people crap on it a lot. Even people that like the series say it's pretty bad. And Ahsoka Tano?
Ahsoka Tano. Ahsoka, and then her last name's Tano.
Ahsoka Tano. Okay, I thought there was a cutoff at a different place. So her first name is just Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
Okay, see, I always thought there was a cutoff. I didn't even pay attention when Disney Infinity. I was like, oh, fucking Clone Wars character, so Ahsoka. But, yeah, like, that's where she got a bad reputation as well as being really cheesy. And she's still kind of cheesy in these first few episodes. I have some problems to show about her, but, so continue. So, obviously, we had the movie, and then this. Maybe one day we'll watch the movie.
We had the movie. I would say, just, if you get to the movie, I think it's on Netflix as well, just so you get that introduction to the Clone Wars, what they're going for, what it's about. I mean, I don't say what they're going for because that was one thing, and the series turns into something that's incredibly fantastic. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean,
incredibly fantastic.
Wow. But this first episode, I think I quite enjoyed it. I thought that for this series, go right to the heart of it. Throw Yoda in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's some serious fan service, and you don't have to overdo it. The series is called Clone Wars, but it didn't have to feel like all-out war. They gave Yoda 3 clones. And this whole series is about getting to know like clone characters and stuff, which you learn later on. But you're given these 3 clones with Yoda, and they go on this little journey, and it basically tackles, even though the odds are so much against you, how you can approach the situation differently, and how these clones, which are trained for war and trained to do one thing only, and win, take orders, do this and this and this.
And don't tell me any things that happen to these characters.
No, I won't.
Okay, good.
I'll keep it under wraps. But they basically they're thrown into a situation with a Jedi, and it's a completely sorry, there's something in my finger. It's a completely it seems very unconventional for them, because there are all these situations that they don't understand the way Yoda, he'll be meditating or doing something or explain something, and that's what I love about, these clones' relationships with the Jedi, is because you get to see how the Jedi or the clones have to do one thing a specific way, and they get to learn and build these relationships with these Jedi. And the Jedi show them that, we value your guys' lives, you guys are all individual. You may look the same, but you have different personalities and traits. And they really tackle that right away in this episode. And each of the clones, they don't make the clones very expendable, and they make, a character that looks the same, and there's millions and millions of them, all be unique and individual at the same time. And I thought it was very cool. Like, I didn't mind having Asajj Ventress being the first one thrown in there right away, because again, she's a bigger Clone Wars character, and we don't get to see her in the movies, so it makes sense, save Grievous for something else or whatever. But so I guess they tackled everything they needed to, and I think it was a good entry point into the series.
So you have some problems. I'll bring those up. I think the episode's good. I think it's a good opener to just the show in general. Start with Yoda. He's a popular character, and it's a pretty basic episode where they're just fighting a bunch of droids. But I liked actually the stuff with Ventress and the King, because I like the kind of treaty sort of making, where sometimes in the prequel movies they talk about treaties and whatnot, but they don't dive that deep into them, or they're just really off to the side, or they're just ham-fisted as far as we're going to shoot Padme, or you sign this. Where I like the idea of it feeling like a real war, and I guess that's probably my problem. Some of the prequels, it didn't feel real, and Star Wars still can feel real, where this was hey, at the end they do try to go kill the guy, but they were trying to make it seem like he had an option, right? And they're like, oh, well, we can, show you, we can take out this Jedi Master who's a legend, so I liked all that aspects. I like the relationship. I think the campfire scene is probably the standout as far as I like that. It was good of like, you know, he goes to them, what's your name, and like, what are you known for, and anything like that. That was a fun little scene because I don't have the same experience with Taylor. To me, the clones, as far as, and even droids and stormtroopers, they're all just expendables, right? Other than now what they did with Force Awakens with Finn in the movies, they are just cannon fodder, you know, where obviously in this series is going to be a lot different, so I got to change my expectations there. But yeah, I like the episode overall. I don't know why I felt like this animation was a lot lower than the other three. I'm not sure if they did it first or it was just like the coloring of it. It wasn't bad. It was just it felt it felt almost more drawn than CG 3D. So there was that. But so I want to ask a few questions to set the stage, and then I have minor notes, and if we were done with this episode, we could move on. But so you still, because I asked you this last night, you couldn't find an official how long it is from episode 2 until the start of this show, right? Because that's what I was trying to figure out, because weird enough, I thought about because of Anakin's hair. I thought, oh, hey, like, Anakin's hair is long right now. But if you were to venture to guess, how long do you think has been since Attack of the Clones? And the other reason I was saying that, because there's a Padme episode, obviously they're married now, so that's his wife. So I was trying to think about that. But, because how long is between Clones and Revenge of the Sith?
Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith is about 3 years.
3 years. So, and this movie's this show's supposed to kind of like cover those 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So, how long would you venture to get? Because the thing is, in Attack of the Clones, he doesn't have that eye scar, right?
He does not.
No, but then he does in Revenge of the Sith. So, did he get that in the movie?
No, he didn't get in the movie. I can't remember. That's something I at least I can't remember.
Because I know there was another Clone Wars that showed how he got it, but that's not canon anymore.
That's not canon. No, but that's what I kind of was going to, but
yeah.
I don't remember. I don't know if they covered that in the actual Clone Wars animation.
So if you were to guess, how long do you think it is though after Attack of the Clones? There's nothing too specific. I just know because like there's a few things that do happen that I had a question about, because as far as that, him getting a Padawan, plus why is Grievous in this, but he's not in Attack of the Clones? Like, they seem pretty close to each other, you know? So that's why I was trying to figure out how long was in between, like, when this starts.
I would probably say anywhere between, like, 3 to 6 months. I feel like maybe even 5 months. I feel like this is just something that, you know, Anakin has a lot of development that he's gone through, obviously, and there's a lot of changes for the Republic looking at this, and especially when you look at the different variety of clone trooper corps and legions, there's or divisions, I should say. I mean, at the beginning, all the clone troopers that were sent out in Attack of the Clones, they looked like they were all just basic, generic legions and divisions that were being sent out. But now clones have specific markings and designations. You know, the 501st, the 212th Battalion, all those different stuff. Like Plo Koon's Wolf Pack, all those different kinds of stuff and everything. So it, I would say a few months, because that's stuff that would seem like it would be a logical time frame for things to start developing and changing.
Alright, so my follow-up now, so you would say Dooku's a Sith, right?
Yes.
Is Ventress a Sith?
She's a Sith assassin. She doesn't fall into that category, because the Siths obviously have assassins. But
obviously, they don't in the movies. Because this is another thing that, because I'm going to bring this up a lot as the film purist. I don't like that they always hit you over the head. The Sith there can only be two. And to me, yeah, she's a Sith assassin, but she feels much more like Count Dooku's like apprentice or Padawan in this. And I don't like that, because that, again, I feel like they just do, and there's even the thing with Grievous, which I'll bring up in a different episode, that they set up in the film, but because they need the show to be good or to have action, they're like, oh, well, she's an assassin, so it's fine. But I feel like some of the stuff is not really story stuff. I feel like they just write it so they make it easier for them to have a show, which I get, but that's also stuff to me that is negative, that I don't think, I don't know if I'm going to like her as a character. I've seen her in one episode. I know other people like her, but it, to me, is like, and I'm not even saying I need the rule of two. I've always said that in the new movies. I want there to be like bunch of Jedis again, bunch of Sith. But as far as the rules in the film, there can only be two. And she's kind of a, even though she's a Sith assassin, she's still a Sith.
I still see it as, you know, rule of two. You know, you can have Force-sensitive beings that aren't Sith, but, you know, they crave it. And obviously, like, without spoiling, she is someone that is led, or she's fed the lies of, you know, oh, you will be my apprentice and we will destroy, you know, the like the Sith Lord Palpatine
Rule the galaxy.
yeah, and rule the galaxy. You know, it's just that kind of like that lie that's been spun to her that she kind of is believing and just holding on to. But as far as her being just an assassin, that's, you know, I believe it. And the way I see it as well is the fact that as long as she is in play, it makes it come off to the Jedi that there's just those two. It pulls the attention away from Palpatine.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of dynamic that happens with her character and relationship later on.
Okay.
With her and Grievous, I think they're both, you know, they're both just separatist droid generals of the army, essentially.
Okay.
So.
Let's see. Do you have anything more yet on this episode, or should I just go into some notes here?
No, I think that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hate the narration.
Hate the narration?
I remember when I've tried both times.
Oh.
It's too over the top for me. It's too cheesy. I'm just like, oh, and our friends are doing this now, and what are we doing? It's very 80s Super Friends. Never liked it. So.
Oh, I love it. It's like cut to the chase, boom, boom, boom.
I don't mind that. I don't like how
shit.
over the top it is.
Oh.
You know, so. I liked the plan of using the escape pods by like releasing them all for Yoda not to get caught by them, so I like that. That was a good thing. Okay, we talked about Ventress. Here's a big hang up that I have in the prequels, and I've had in every episode of this show that I've watched so far. I've only watched the first 4, and it's really dragging it down for me, is the droid humor. I hate the droids already, but all their one-liners, all their quips, like, it's not even like I could have wrote some down to be like, oh, these are examples. It's just all of them. None of them make me funny. I much prefer the canon fodder Stormtrooper than these, like, even the prequels. Like, why? It doesn't make any sense as far as an army why you would make these droids that have this, like, less intelligence. So, I hate the droids 100%, and that takes down the quality of the show for me so far quite a bit, because anytime I'm enjoying it, that happens, and then it feels very kiddie to me. So I'm not sure if you want to respond to that at all.
No, I agree. There's a lot of stuff with the droids that I can do without. There's some stuff they'll say, like, you know, in this episode, they're shooting at the escape pods, and the droid's like, what a terrible shot. There's some really cheesy stuff that I get a kick out of and I'll laugh at, but half the time, like, during the battle, the droid's like, he's just sitting there, and Asajj Ventress is like, fire, fire, and the droid's like, fire, fire. Like, I'll give you that. 110%, I'll give you that. It's very annoying. But, you know, again, though, that's for the little kids. And I'm thankful that as the series progresses, they do a good number on the droid stuff. Right. It's not as kiddie.
There's one fight that I didn't find the greatest. Is there's the first fight Yoda has with the droids where he's just landing on droids and he's jumping from the droid to droid and they're just shooting each other. I just thought it was smart for the first 2 times he did it, but then he just takes out like all 6 that way, and it was kind of boring. I was like, oh, he's gonna do it, then jump in and force push them. No, he just kept jumping on him, so I thought that was kind of lame. Mm-hmm. Why don't they? And I guess they showed in other episodes, but as far as the movies, they never address this. Why don't they send like the droidy cars every time? Like, they're so powerful, and it's like they always like wait till they've lost and like, oh yeah, send them out. And this time they actually show like Yoda defeat them, but in the movies, like, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon couldn't even beat them in the Phantom Menace, which it's now they seem a lot weaker, but I don't know why they just don't send them every time.
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't have an answer for you. Those droids, those droidicas.
Yeah, the droid at one point, just before he dies, says I just got promoted.
Yeah, there's that one too.
Yikes. I liked the good set piece as far as the last battle with Yoda and all the clones and everything like that. Yoda and the clones versus all the droids and everything like that. Because that's the one where he takes the wrist shooter guys, right, and turns them around.
He turns it around, he's making them shoot,
and I don't understand that, because then after he just force pushes the rest that are alive and they're all done. It's like, why don't you just force push them? But I get it. But it was a fun little set piece. To your knowledge, so they call Ventress Supreme Leader, right? Mm-hmm. Is she the first, like... What classifies as a Supreme Leader in Star Wars? And is she the first? Because also we have Supreme Leader Snoke, and now maybe Supreme Leader...
Very different things, I would say.
Kylo Ren, but yeah, that's what I mean. So is it just like a title, or...?
It's just a title.
Okay.
I would say that she's just bestowed upon herself, that the droids just call her. Like, they call her Mistress, and they call her, Supreme Leader. It's just, yeah. Just a title. It's nothing like, it's not like she's like the prerequisite of Supreme Leader Snoke for the First Order or anything. Okay, well, if you don't have anything to add, then yeah, what we do, I think I said this on Spider-Man Retro, we do our ratings, because it's hard to give them, they're just 22-minute episodes, you know, give them a full rate, or at least for myself. I guess we could do 10, but to me it's pulling hair, so we go with classic
got 2 thumbs up, a thumb up, thumb in the middle, thumb down, 2 thumbs down. I'm going thumb in the middle. I liked the Yoda stuff. There were some good scenes, but the droid stuff really took down me because there's a lot of droid humor in this episode. So yeah, a thumb in the middle for me.
I'll give it 2 thumbs up right off the bat.
2 thumbs?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you said you don't even like the droid stuff either.
I don't like the droid stuff, but I've seen enough times to overlook that and actually enjoy this episode.
What makes this a 2 thumbs? Because that's like a 5 out of 5.
It's the Yoda stuff and the clone stuff that really sell it for me, and the fact that this is like the first episode and what it has to put out there and lay down for you. I really enjoy that. That being said, like it's not gonna be like that consistently throughout this retrospect. There is a lot of stuff that I really don't like, but no, this is easily just 2 thumbs up. It was great. It was just it tackled everything that I wanted to be tackled. I felt like for a first starting episode, and just it felt really good. The messages and the moral that Yoda was putting out there, just the foundation of the clones that we'll get to encounter further on in the Clone Wars franchise. So yeah.
Episode 2, and what was this? Rising Male Violence?
Malevolence.
Rising Malevolence.
Malevolence.
Rising Maleficent. An attack by a devastating separatist weapon, the powerful starship Malevolence, leaves Jedi Master Plo Koon and his clone troopers struggling to survive until Anakin Skywalker and Ahsoka can find them. I'm gonna have such a hard time with all this shit. I liked this episode. One, I was very excited. I kind of remembered it, but I'm a big Plo Koon fan, even though I can't say his name. He was my favorite as far as the prequels, like not the main characters. It's just like Star Wars, like any other character. It's based on his look. I just saw him. I bought a toy of him. I liked his look. I was very disappointed of how he goes out and
oh, it sucks.
The prequel trilogy, they all, it was him and Kit Fisto, those are the 2 for me that are my favorite. So yeah, I was excited by that. I think it's a fun little episode. You get to see the stuff with, is this his official wolf pack, these clones, or are these just other clones right now?
That was the start, yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think they go on a fun little venture. There's some stuff that I'm going to get into that's not necessarily cons, it's just stuff that it's tough for me to disengage with as far as Anakin goes, and that's going to be a problem the whole series, and Ahsoka, but other than that, I thought it was a good little episode, so.
Yeah, I thought the episode was awesome. I loved how, just again, like the foundation is laid there for, the war aspect of this, and
it's a big adventure episode.
It is. The nods towards the Death Star I thought were super cool. I really enjoyed that. I think the whole ship using a giant ion weapon was super cool, disabling the ships, and just these 3 Jedi Cruiser Venator class destroyers just got laid to waste. They were just easily just destroyed, and it was like, oh, this is intense, and then just getting to the escape pods was just wild. And I mean, I love Plo Koon as well. I think he's super cool. He's the best Jedi pilot in the galaxy until Anakin came along.
I hate Anakin so much.
But no, he was the best pilot, and he's a super cool Jedi and super cool character, and I love he's.
See, I don't know
cool.
For me, I don't know why he's super cool other than just the way he looks. He was good in this episode. He's very commanding and whatnot. I like that, but I'm excited to learn more about his character, and I hope I still like him. So
how did you feel about him being responsible for, because I think this is the episode where they talk about him being responsible for finding Ahsoka and bringing her.
Fuck him, he should let her die.
Worst character
she's no Jar Jar or Rose. I have a question about that. So yeah, he's the one that finds her. She was in danger, she was trying to survive or something like that. Do you learn more about that story later on?
You'll learn more.
Okay,
yeah.
so fine, I know enough. My question is, and I know, and this can tie into as well, I hate Anakin having a Padawan. For me, it's just another Star Wars thing. To me, it doesn't make sense for a non-master to have a Padawan. I know you say in the movie they kind of say it's to control him. To me, that's like awful, shitty teaching.
But wouldn't you say that it's even the same, like, yes, Qui-Gon was a master, but he wasn't a master on the council, and he's still an apprentice. Then Obi-Wan wasn't a master yet, and they gave him the, Anakin.
But the thing is, we don't know, though, because with Phantom Menace, it dies. It ends with Qui-Gon's funeral, and then Obi-Wan says he's going to train him, right? We don't know. He could train him after he goes to trials and becomes a master, right? To me, that's always the way, like, for me, if it's like my first day at work, and they go, hey, you're going to train the new guy, it's like, well, shouldn't you? Because you're my boss? Nah, you just train the new guy. You know enough. Like, I don't like that, and I feel like maybe in the other lore, obviously it goes against that. But once again, for me as the films, I prefer the films. In the films, there's no evidence that you could train them as far as not being a master, right? Because every trainer has been a Jedi Master. Even, that's what I mean, in Clone Wars, Obi-Wan's a Jedi Master. He's not on the council, but he's still a Master. So I always assume, okay, he took the trials, and then, okay, he can take on Anakin. So we don't see anybody else that's a non-Master training one in the films. So to me, that's kind of like the Ventress thing, where it's like, oh yeah, she's a Sith assassin, so she can be in here, but it's kind of breaking the rules a little bit of, I know these are rules that have already been broken, but they, like, breaking the OG rules of the film to make something new, which I don't know, I go back and forth. I don't like the idea, because I feel like, as well as Anakin as a character, again, and I'll say this is another thing comparing to the movies, the way I'm trying to enjoy this is I'm trying to enjoy this show as the way Obi-Wan talks about his father to Luke in A New Hope, like always a general, everything in the Clone Wars, stuff like that. Because my biggest thing as well, I know I'm throwing a lot at the table, but I don't think this Anakin really matches up with either of the films, because in Episode 2, he's just like a loose cannon. He's very emotional. And then Episode 3, he just does that sharp decline. So to me, this almost hurts it more of like, in this show, he's very steady. He feels like, and maybe I'll see more of it down the line, but he feels like he's in control all the times, where in both movies he doesn't. I feel like they do that poorly, but still, he doesn't do that. So for me, for some reason, it's like, okay, Attack of the Clones, he's a loose cannon, and then for 3 years, he's a great guy, and he's learning, and it seems like he has a Padawan, and he's doing better, and he's being more level-headed. But then in 3, it's like right away he's back to being like, oh yeah, I'm fucking loose cannon. That's what I'm trying to pretend this isn't the same character, because I don't think they really match up as far as, and I think that's an acting and writing. But
the way that I look at it is, after Attack of the Clones, Anakin, he gets settled and he gets a large thing that he's wanted. He wanted Padme. He gets that, and it sets him on his way to get things under control for himself for a bit of time. And that goes to show throughout the Clone Wars for the first little bit. You'll see that, but 110% you will see, and there are so many nods and so many indications of Anakin. His fall starts, foreshadows in so many circumstances and situations that test him and start to break him as a character.
Yeah, I'll judge it more when we get there. That's why I was asking how long was in between, just because I feel like he is not anywhere near the character in Attack of the Clones. Because Attack of the Clones, he's very moody and all over the place, and this guy seems the exact opposite. He's very, like I said, like level-headed. Right now in these episodes, this does not feel like that guy. Like, the guy in Attack of the Clones could not be a fucking general. Like, he wouldn't try. He's around chopping down sand people. It's like, I know they don't. Well, Yoda kind of knows, and Mace Windu kind of knows. So I feel like that's my problem too with this whole thing. Like, oh, we'll control him. It's like, why don't you fucking send him to anger management? That'll control him. Like, not giving him Padawan. Because what happens if they gave him this Padawan and he turned evil and she turned evil with him? It would have been like.
Yeah, but they didn't think he was going to turn evil, though.
They
gave him. It's like, you have someone who is like a little outgoing or whatever, and he was a Jedi Knight. He wasn't a Jedi.
Outgoing, slaughter sand people. He's a little outgoing. He's holding me back.
I feel like though that just with Ahsoka, they were hoping that having you have someone who is a little bit just kind of like loose cannon, but you put responsibility on them. You hope that it
not being a Jedi Master is not enough responsibility.
No, but he was promoted to a Jedi Knight though after Attack of the Clones.
I know, but I feel like training to become a Master, you don't feel like that's enough responsibility.
I feel
like there's so much more danger. It's like if I multiple times, like if I'm at like my job is I'm a driving instructor and I've crashed a few times and they're like, hey, let's just put someone in the passenger seat with them. I feel like, yeah, maybe there's a chance, maybe like, hey, don't turn that way, don't turn that way. But there's still a chance I'm just going to crash with them in the vehicle.
But I think it comes down to they know what Anakin's weakness is, and it's his attachments.
It's
his attachments and his emotions to his attachments.
No one knows about fucking Padme until episode 3.
They don't. But I feel like they know it's his willingness to form attachments. Especially like Obi-Wan and different characters in his life. So I feel like giving him a Padawan, someone that he is responsible for, will help teach him how to control that aspect. And hopefully in turn control his emotions a bit better. Downside is eventually down the line you'll see how that plays out, but.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm down to seeing how Austin watch this to see how his arc goes. I'm just still never. It's not even. I think Anakin does add to it, but I just don't like any non-master having a Padawan. For me, it's a hard thing to get over. Yeah. Did you have anything more on this? We talked a lot about Anakin.
We gotta go into the episode.
Yeah.
I'd say No, the episode is great. As I said, it just dives into the war. I love the eeriness of like Plo Koon and his men trapped in the escape pod, and I like right away it goes to show the relationship of Anakin kind of the whole time. Like Ahsoka is just adapting his or her master's like traits and speaking out of turn, but just like it's like we need to do this and this, and Anakin's like. In this sense, yes, he does play it very cool because in his head, he already knows what he's going to do. He's going to go about his mission, but do it a specific way that works for him. And he's teaching that to Ahsoka. Even though it's not really a necessary Jedi way, his actions do go forward. And I like how you get to see Palpatine advising against it. Palpatine's just pulling those strings this whole time.
Well, and you could, maybe he's advising against it. You don't know. Because he's always that guy that says do something and then doesn't really want to. like he's always fucking with people. The thing I have the problem with Palpatine is like they just make him look super evil. He has like these fucking dark ass bags under his eyes, and I think the prequel movies do that too. They do an awful job of like right away. I know because it's the same actor and same voice, but Palpatine just always just acts fucking so creepy, and it's like that's what I also hate too. It's like man, but I just had to shout in the animation they gave him. It's like he just always looks fucking evil. Why couldn't we put this together, you guys? Like, yikes. I liked it too. It was fun. Like I kind of said most about because there's not much. I don't think character development in this episode. Like you have that scene with Yoda and the clones. It's more about the claustrophobia of being trapped in this escape pod. So I like that. Do you need to take that call? That's we're not live. Is it Madison?
Nope. Yeah, keep.
We're not live, so I can edit this. If you need to take the call,
take it real quick.
Hello? Hi, I'm podcasting right now. Oh, I'm podcasting right now. That's okay. Yeah. I know, I found them. Where am I meeting you? Downtown? Okay. We'll be finishing up in a bit. Okay. I love you too. Bye-bye.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not going to use any of that, you bastard. So I don't think it's much of a character episode. I think it's a pretty basic, like, fun action, like I said, adventure episode. I like that the weapon is kind of like the Death Star, where, why do they always have two people on the fucking side of the railings, like they have two droids? I think it's a nice little shout out to it, but I don't have much more to say about this episode other than a few notes, but
I loved, I don't know why Anakin uses the freighter. It's kind of weird how he just kind of gets attached to that freighter ship. Again, it's from the movie, so it makes sense that he's using it. Okay. But it's a weird thing that he would take this decrepit freighter and just make it his own, But there's
Anakin's
reasons.
a weird dude, man.
He is a weird dude. There's reasons that I do like that, and I'll dive into that kind of thing like later on when I do another review for another Star Wars related piece of material.
I like at one point, I can't remember who says it, maybe Plo Koon. I think he says it to one of the clones. He says, keep working on your pod, not your jokes. So that was alright. I liked when they were turning off all the electronics on the droids that R2 caused them to get caught in a way. So
you like the medical droid coming in?
Well, no, I like that, but I liked both those things where they thought they had everything off and they're like, oh, R2, and then she's like, sorry, buddy, and she turns it off, and then the droid comes in. So I like that there's two kind of freakouts of they thought they had it and they didn't. So yeah.
I like that. It was very a creepy vibe when their systems are down and the big massive ship is just flying above them, and I like again the kind of like you're saying the panicking thing where the ship's turning around and they're like they don't know what to do really, like they're kind of trying to figure out their move.
Anything more on this episode?
No, I think that's it.
I'll give this one a thumbs up. Just for Plo Koon, I'll give it a thumbs up.
For Plo Koon?
Yeah. It's going to be tough for me to get a 2 thumbs up because there's no episodes that I saw for these four that for me were great. I thought they're all good to alright for me. A mini spoiler.
Maybe you'll hate me. I don't know. I'll give this one 2 thumbs up.
Oh, God!
Oh,
boy. It's gonna be the whole fucking show. I don't know, this one's not that great, but still, 2 thumbs up.
It was exciting. I love the Malevolence and just firing the ion weapon, destroying 3 Venator class Star Destroyers just like that. Like, easy peasy, and then just the whole theme out in space and Anakin coming to the rescue. Everything just playing by the wire, even their escape, it was awesome. And then even just Count Dooku just expressing his disappointment in Grievous, and Grievous is like, like he's just he's pissed, and just that whole sense.
Why does Grievous use lightsabers in this series? Because they make a big deal of it in Revenge of the Sith that he's like, oh, Count Dooku's been showing me the ways of the Jedi, and they make it seem like Obi-Wan had no idea that he's been using lightsabers.
He just likes to reiterate that.
I mean, again, because they needed Count Dooku to use the lightsaber, and it's like, oh, we're just going to retcon that he's always used. Because in the movie, that doesn't play. Obi-Wan acts like he's never seen it before.
Another thing, too, like, in Revenge of the Sith, you get to see, like, that was Anakin and Grievous' first time meeting. Bear that in mind as you watch the whole
Yeah, they all meet, yeah.
Well...
They'll still meet in a way. That's why you bring it up, and it will not fit Revenge of the Sith again.
It'll fit. Believe it or not, it'll fit, surprisingly.
But this lightsaber thing doesn't fit.
I just take it as Grievous is just,
but it doesn't fit for Obi-Wan to react in Revenge of the Sith like he's never seen these lightsabers. So
I think they form their own rivalry, and
I know, but that doesn't
Grievous just likes to spit shit out.
That doesn't just
I trained with the Jedi Arts.
Just because they have a rivalry doesn't explain away the plot hole, you know.
Yeah, true.
Okay, the Shadow of Mayo and Cheese. With the help of his Padawan Ahsoka and Jedi Master Plo Koon, Anakin utilizes new long-range Y-wing bombers to lead a bold strike on General Grievous' warship, the Macho Man and its destructive weapon. That's episode 3. I liked this episode, but for some reason I'm forgetting quite a bit of it right now. I have some notes, but this one for me was still fine, but it was... I think it meshed a little bit too much with the first one for me. Maybe I should have watched it one more time, but it's... yeah, from what I remember, I like it. I don't know why Dooku's face is so pointy in this series, but...
Yeah, they're just going for it.
Yeah.
I really loved this episode, actually, for the fact that Anakin just takes them through, like, this field that they shouldn't have gone through, this shortcut.
Right, okay, now I remember. Yeah, and this ends with them stopping the weapon as well, right? For the most part. Yeah, I really like that set piece, and I don't know if it was, like, meant to be a Han Solo... shout out, but they say, oh, this is like a smuggler's run, and of course that's where all these creatures are. So no, I thought that was again that was more adventurous as far as like showing up the world, and that all fit. And I was very surprised that Matchstick died.
Right away, boom, he's killed.
Because I'm like, oh, it's a kid's show, he's gonna come back, and like, oh no, he was dead, and then it's like, yeah, I feel bad for the ones I've saved and the ones I lost. Like, no, Matchstick is dead. So. Now I remember I quite enjoyed this one. I really liked that. I liked pretty much everything in this episode. So,
no, I think I love the vibe that they were going through, and this Plo Koon just freaking out at Anakin. Like Plo Koon was aware that something was off, but until Anakin just casually slid the name out there, he's like, you know what this is, don't you? The nesting ground for the blah 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 blah. I can't remember their name. Those gas whales or whatever.
Gas whales.
The gas whales, the gas kyogres. But I loved how they were just flying along, coasting along, and Anakin told them to just go single file line, and Matchstick just started... You see a brief glimpse into the personalities of the clones. Matchstick started to freak out, and Anakin's like, keep your cool, even though he can't keep his cool. His ship is actually malfunctioning.
Cool, and then his ship fucking explodes and takes out another guy that we don't know the name of. So shout out to clone number 8. So
yeah, but... The whole episode was great. I love how they managed to disable the weapon, and just, I guess, chaos ensues, and it leads towards the next piece of the story arc. I like how they did definitely just kind of fuck up, and it just, their whole plan started to go to kaput.
Yeah. I will say, that's one thing, like, these episodes feel like they're more one big episode instead of a single episode, so that's why sometimes they kind of meld together, and also give me a benefit of doubt. I'm in the middle of a movie right now, so my mind is mush, but... Yeah, so I enjoyed this episode. The one con I have about it is this is where Ahsoka's really lame things, like sayings about Anakin started, where she'd be like, he's one of a kind, and like, oh, that's my master, and like, that's the way he does things, and like, fuck, shut up. She did that so much in this episode. I can't remember if there's another thing. Oh yeah, literally she says a line, that's my master, that's what he does. Like, and if Plo Koon's in there, it's just like, what are you talking about? Like, shut up. Like, so yeah, that's where this started, and I didn't like that, so. And why is Plo Koon not her master, really, when you think about it? Like, why isn't he her teacher? He saved her. He doesn't have her Padawan. Does he have a Padawan?
He's a Jedi Master on the Council.
Oh, so he's too busy for that, but he's
I
fine.
don't-
He's fine mulling
most-
around these fucking clones.
The Masters on the council, from what I'm aware of, at least, I don't see them having apprentices unless
Not
they
until
choose
Clone
to.
Wars, the revival, and then Yoda will have an apprentice, and they'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, we changed that too.
Well, I feel like, as a master, you can take that route, like where you go into the council, or you can take on an apprentice. I think that's the route you can do, and I feel like,
Who the fuck's not going on the council? The council.
Qui-Gon.
What? I know, but like the council's where you want to be,
I
I
guess
don't
so.
like that. I don't like that you could go and choose to be the council or master. I thought it was like, oh, you're a master until the council says, hey, you're one of the top guys. You should be here. Or top ladies.
Well, you would be. I mean, I think you get to make that choice.
No, but I don't like that you make that choice. They should.
Well,
They should choose.
Maybe
I don't
they do
get
choose.
I don't get to
know,
choose just to
really.
be the boss.
But then again, Plo Koon totally could have been. It would have been more fitting, but I guess, I don't know, circumstance arose, That's another thing too, like Snips, Ahsoka is like, yeah, so technically since I'm in the movie, she's like, technically since I'm a Jedi, I outrank you, and Rex is just straight up flat says, in my experience, in my analysis or experience outranks everything, or whatever, or puts her to shame,
Puts her to shame. I'll give this episode a thumbs up. I was gonna say, there's not, I'd say too much to say about these even these first 4 episodes, because they're pretty action oriented in this one, and I think all the action's good for the most part. There's one weird scene coming up in episode 4 where Anakin takes out some droids, but he moves very robotically, so don't like that. But I'd give this episode a thumbs up.
I'll give it 1 thumb up.
Oh wow, not 2.
Yeah, no, not
Big
2.
surprise. Let's see. Episode 4, Destroy.
Malevolence.
No, I'm trying to think of some machismo. I'm just changing them all the time. Padme and C-3PO are taken hostage by General Grievous and leaving Anakin and Obi-Wan to save the Senator and complete destruction of the Malevolence. Malevolence. Why are you laughing over that?
First of all, I love how Palpatine totally fucks with the situation. He sent, because he
sent her knowing she's gonna get kidnapped?
Well, that was the thing, because Count Dooku was like, oh, I got a plan, don't worry, Grievous, it'll delay the attack or whatever, and clearly, it's Palpatine pulling some strings, and it's like, because that's what even she says, if I remember correctly, I got, from the Chancellor's office to come out here and help, there was some
She
stuff
seems
to
so
do.
fucking oblivious, and then when she gets at a Hyper's face, and then there's like, oh, we're in the middle of a droid battle army! Like, I actually like Padme in this episode, and I think Padme is much better in the Clone Wars series. I like her, actually. Anakin, where I'm like, I can't connect, where Padme, there's enough of badass, this type of Padme for me to connect, so I really like her in this show so far, but I didn't like her opening, because she seemed kind of a little dumb there, so.
This episode, I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool to get them to finally finish off the Malevolence. I thought, you get to kind of see Anakin tested a little bit for the first part in the show where, his wife was thrown into the situation. And aside from that awkwardly long kiss that didn't even happen.
Well, it doesn't make any sense when they go in through that tunnel, and it's like, and then they cut away for like 5 minutes in the back, and they're still
going in. They're like, oh, I was interrupted.
Yeah, it's like, what? But yeah, I really liked this episode. This was my favorite episode out of the bunch. I liked their back and forth dynamic. I like seeing Anakin and Obi-Wan, because even the prequels, I think there's a few moments of, I think that's sometimes Hayden Christensen's best work is not when he's being evil, not when he's being romantic, is when he's with Ewan McGregor. I think that's also because Ewan, but in this movie, or this show, they carry over that kind of fun brotherly back and forth. So I liked all the adventures they went on. I love when Padme and Anakin run through the halls and they have their own adventures. I like the idea of Anakin's plan to outsmart Dooku and the weapon, where it made them, instead of sucking the ships in, it sucked them to the moon and everything like that. So yeah, this was like the most action episode, but I love it because I love anything that happens. I'm a big fan of the space stuff, but I'm a big fan of things that happen in like corridors and like these big set pieces and things like that. That's things I like about the prequels, is like look at Duel of the Fates, that fight scene with Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul. Like the set pieces are phenomenal. I did like the train thing where it could be a little over the top, because in Attack of the Clones I don't like the droid factory. I do. I think there's just times where it goes on, it's a little long, but some of the set pieces in the prequels are great. I like some of the ideas in the prequels, so I liked this episode the most out of all of them, and I thought I think they make it a little too obvious even in this first episode that Anakin like really cares for Padme, and Obi-Wan just never calls out. Ahsoka never calls out. Maybe they will in the show later on, but in these they never do, especially because Obi-Wan doesn't figure it out till or Revenge of the Sith, really, because he's like, oh, he's the father. So that is a little, like, maybe that could have been toned out a bit, but yeah, really enjoyed this episode.
How did you feel about C-3PO's introduction?
I like him. I think he works better here than times where he's in fucking Rogue One doing nothing, but I think it made sense for him to be a Padme, and, you know, she needs a little scout, and I always like his comedic relief more than the droid humor, so, and obviously he meets up with R2 in this. My favorite part is this when, like, R2 asks him what they should do, and he's like, we need to wait right here, and then when the door opens and it's Anakin, he's like, what are you doing? Why are you just standing around? And he runs away. He's like, oh my goodness. So, yeah, I like that.
How did you feel about Grievous, like, his accent? Like, he didn't say anything, like, Dooku was like, where are you? What's going on? What's going on? Is the ship on its way? He just cuts him and goes.
I think that fits, but also I don't know if it fits for this early on in the show, because if this is like 3 years worth until Revenge of the Sith, the thing is in Revenge of the Sith, you don't get any interactions with Dooku and Grievous, so you just kind of assume, oh, they're still working together, it's fine. So I doubt they address that in the next episode. It's just probably a thing. So I liked it for comedic relief, but I didn't like that in the sense of, hey, you know, I think Dooku would be the guy, like, don't do that again or you're going to be in trouble, where I think they kind of did that for just comedic relief, and I didn't like that, so, yeah.
Well, that was something in the previous episode, too, you get to see, like, Count Dooku relayed the fact that he had to go and speak to, was it the first episode with the Malevolence, or I'm not sure which one, but he said, like, this is unfortunate, I have to go see my master now about this, like, your failure has been...
I thought it was, like, episode 3, actually.
Are you sure? I thought it was when the knowledge of the Malevolence was going to be made. The Jedi got away with the information of the ship.
Maybe.
And Dooku had to say...
It can't be 1. It has to be 2 or 3.
Well, it'd be 2 then. Yeah, it'd be episode 2. Yeah. Because then Dooku had to go, and he relayed the fact to Grievous, like wallow in your failure or whatever, like, make note of it. So I think Count Dooku, he knows that... Grievous, like, is a valuable asset that can't really be expendable. And that's something, too, you'll get to see later on. You get to see that he is actually very valuable to Dooku as an asset that can't be just wishy-washied away or whatever. So, yeah. No, I like the episode a lot.
Yeah, my last thing is, why are some masters Master Kenobi, Master Skywalker, and then why is he Master Plo?
Master Plo?
Yeah, why is it his first name?
Maybe it's his last name, Plo Koon. Maybe it's his Plo Koon is his.
So it's like Roger Plo Koon.
Roger Plo Koon.
Heard it here first, folks.
Roger Plo.
Yeah, I'll give this one a thumbs up. I wouldn't give it a 2 thumbs up because I need to be wowed by an episode, any episode or movie like that. But yeah, I'd give it a thumbs up. Like I said, my favorite out of these 4. So.
Yeah, I would give it just neutral.
Oh my god, why is neutral?
I liked it, but it didn't do anything.
Don't agree on me.
It didn't do anything to move me or
the
anything.
Anakin and Obi-Wan stuff's great. The Anakin and Padme stuff's good, you know?
Oh yeah, it is, but I mean, maybe I'm just being biased and comparing it to too much other stuff that I'm excited to get to or whatever, but like...
But you gave Ambush 2
Oh yeah, that episode phenomenal. But this episode, I'll just give it a neutral. Like it was good. It wasn't super good. It wasn't super bad. It was a good episode to conclude this story arc. I like the beginning parts a bit more. But yeah.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was our first Star Wars: The Clone Wars retro. So that was a kind of a quick one. You know, that was kind of just some action-oriented stuff. But we're excited to get more into this supposed character stuff that happens in there. So. Taylor, are you excited for the future? I'm not excited as I see there's a fucking Jar Jar episode coming up in the next 4. So.
There's some good Jar Jar content.
Oh, fuck. This is gonna suck. But, yeah, so, do you have anything to say before we...
I do. You know, you put this little, tidbit of information in my ear.
Why are you doing that? Because by the time this comes out to the public, unless they're on Patreon, you probably...
Well, this is for the Patreon users to know. So I'll promote this again in,
on Geekverse?
In Geekverse, yes. But, you know, if you're on Patreon, this is for you Patreon people right now. If you are listening to this and you're on Patreon down the road, you already know this is out, so good for you. But Patreon, you're getting an exclusive first-hand look. So, the Thrawn Alliances book just came out not too long ago. I'm giving it a good, solid read. And,
he's only 2 pages in.
Believe it or not, 2 pages in. Chapter 5, 2 pages in.
See, he's not that big of a fan. He doesn't have the Anakin Thrawn one.
That book is $200.
Sorry.
I wish. Comic-Con exclusive, I could get that cover, I totally would. But yeah, I'm gonna finish off this book real quick and I'm gonna do a review episode for it. I'll do a little bit of coverage for the first Thrawn novel and then dive into the full spoilers review for this. So hopefully that gives you enough time to either check out the audiobook or read the book yourself for Thrawn Star Wars Alliances. I mean, yeah, look forward to it.
Yeah, for Patreon users, we're not sure when this is going to be coming out. Expect an episode maybe every couple weeks here and there for the podcast listeners. I think by the time I record this, we'll probably be dropping an episode every week. So if you want to, if you're listening to this episode first and it's, the regular on the podcast, unpaid for, if you want a bunch right away, go to Patreon at the $5 level, we'll get them all. And then if you're on Patreon, you'll be getting them sprinkled throughout. So we thank you very much. We're excited to continue this almost year-long journey in the Clone Wars. May the Force be with you. He never says always.
Always.
It's too late.